Hello, I'm David Morris. Overnight, two former Australian foreign ministers made a call for the US and China to find a way to cooperate and not to slide into a new Cold War. Gareth Evans, who's my old boss, and Bob Carr, both well-known Australian foreign ministers in the realist tradition. So these are people who, in their time, were and are supporters of Australia's alliance with the United States, but they have pointed out in their article published today and endorsed by many other distinguished Australians that it is going to be difficult for the United States to accept limits to its primacy. Now, this is a point that I've been making as well, that after the end of the Cold War, the United States, incorrectly I think, learnt a lesson that it had won the Cold War when actually the Soviet Union had collapsed. And after 9/11, instead of taking the policing actions that the world would have supported against terrorism, the United States went a lot further and has acted as if it is an unlimited power over the entire world. And so this point that these former foreign ministers are making is an important one to reflect upon. How can a United States that believes it is indispensable, that is exceptional, and it must rule the world, how can that power form a relationship with a rising power, China, in which they can cooperate? Very difficult, but very important. And three particular areas I want to discuss in future times. One is economic cooperation. These two countries, these two huge economies, are deeply interdependent, and so we cannot fall into a trade war that decouples these two economies. It will be disastrous for the world. In technology, the United States and China, instead of being rivals and creating rival blocks of technology, we really need global rules. We need rules and standards, just as we had in the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union. We had technical standards, agreements and rules for nuclear safety, for aviation, for all kinds of other new technologies. We're not seeing that now. And of course, for the climate, we need the US and China to work together again. So in my modest way, I want to endorse the call from these two distinguished Australians for not just Australia, but for middle powers around the world to urge China and the US to find a way to live together.